VIP coming at you live, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, keeping it real once again. And we have got one of the most badass people I know sitting in probably the most badass set location of all time. So without any further ado, I'm going to hit the intro real quick and we'll be back in 34 seconds to see what's going on over here. All right. Check this out.
Good.
Booyah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another fun episode of Keeping It Real. This is actually going to be our first ever 3-time guest on Keeping It Real. We've got my great friend out of Indian Trail, right? Indian Trail?
Yes, sir.
Indian Trail, North Carolina. It's the one, the only Dimitri in the house. What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Everything is good, man. No complaints. Nice early morning talking to my buddy Chuck, just getting things going. Been busy, just like always, just like the last time we spoke, just like the next time we'll speak, man. Being busy is what keeps everything moving fast. And you've known me for a little over a decade, and I'm not a slow kind of guy. I like to move quickly. I like to get things done.
This is very true. And you just kind of segued into the very first thing I want to talk about here in Keeping It Real, which is going to be a total shocker to you. But today, as we record this episode, it is actually 4:10 in the morning. I'm not going to lie, over here in San Antonio. I love it, though. I've already been to the gym, dude. My freaking abs are like yoked. I'm on fire right now. And I looked at my Facebook memories today. Today is the 23rd of August, 2022. Guess what happened on August 23rd, 2012, exactly 10 years ago today? What do you think occurred in the life of Chuck Allen?
Well, I know this is right around the time when Cap City opened in that year.
No, Cap City actually opened 12 years ago, believe it or not.
In 2010.
Which probably just gave it away, what happened 10 years ago.
Left Cap City.
I have a giant Facebook memory. It just says, just quit my job. There you go. So that's a pretty cool memory from way back in the day. It's hard to believe that's been 10 years ago, but because of the experience I had in North Carolina, I'm now sitting in my podcast studio talking to my friend who is sitting in a room filled with plants and other types of botanicals. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on over here, my friend? Because the last time you had not gotten to this point, we were in the spring, I believe, and we're anticipating your very first grow and the first season and all that. So why don't you tell our fans how everything's going at Garden of Panacea in North Carolina?
Everything's going great. I believe the last time we spoke, we were, getting ready to release a new product line, which we're still working on because that takes a lot longer than people think. It's not just an overnight kind of project. We've also spread our tentacles to a couple other avenues. Something that my wife has started doing is these exotic indoor plants. As you can see, there's a whole room full of them. And that's something that's really been pushing Garden of Panacea to be a little bit different in the industry. We're not just doing hemp and CBD like other hemp and CBD companies. We're very big into exotic indoor plants. We have a bunch of canned goods and produce. I think we may even have some out here. I got everything out here now, man. We do whipped honey, different flavors.
Oh, come on now. Whipped honey.
We got our own handcrafted hemp soy candles.
Oh, I'm going to have to get some of those.
Yeah, you got to get that office smelling good, Chuck. So, we've just, we've tried to expand what we're doing to make sure that we're using all of our products that we grow in the best way possible, not to let anything go to waste. And, it just kind of keeps us a little more on our toes to make sure that we're checking up on everything we're doing because it's all new stuff that we're trying. And it's keeping everybody, like I said, on their toes to make sure that nothing's getting by us. And as we grow as a company, all these new things that we're adding on, we're trying to make them staples. We're not trying to just put something out there that's only for a couple weeks, months, years, and then it goes away. I want to put out products that Garden of Panacea can sell for years to come, quality products.
High quality is all I know about you, my friend. And that's why I tell everybody, if you're going to get into this kind of thing, this is the dude you need to talk to. So we did talk a little bit about your product line the last time, but it was still kind of in its infancy, and you were doing all kinds of tests and getting everything nice and perfect. What other than the stuff you showed, which I'm amazed right now, whipped honey. That's like, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
Like how's the product line's development been? How's everything working out? How's everything, through that process? This is your first time doing this at your new facility, right? And of course, there's probably going to be little roadblocks and things you didn't think of. What were some of the things that may have occurred if you were going to have like a B-roll or a edited out version of some of the stuff that could have gone down? What's one weird thing that you didn't anticipate that's happened that you guys have had to adapt to and overcome? And why was that fun?
I'm definitely not going to say it was fun, but I think the hardest thing in this whole process is having to rely on other people to do things that we're not capable of, like the design work, packaging, production, all these things that are just outside of our realm because we're so focused on the growing aspect that we've had a real hard time getting the design done, getting packaging shipped here and finalized because it's not their thing that they care so much about. Better than anyone when it's your product or your company or your business or your project, whatever it is, you're going to care more about it than the dude you're hiring to do it. I don't care if he's getting paid or not. He doesn't care about it. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because I care. He's doing it for the money. So it's hard to make everybody understand, like, hey, I need this design done by Friday. And I meant 2 Fridays ago, not this upcoming Friday. They don't understand that because they don't own the business. They're just working for somebody else. So that's definitely been the hardest obstacle with creating the new line because we know what we want. We have the things that we want. We just don't have the facility and ability to execute on a large level what we want to do.
Not yet, but you're getting there. I can guarantee that. And it's true. I mean, having to rely on others can sometimes be a little frustrating when you realize, not everybody's me.
And they're not reliable.
It's life, I guess. But you guys are killing it. I mean, you've got a family operation going on. I saw the other day you had your little girls out there at the farm and have exposed them to that, which is pretty amazing, I think. Let me ask what's going on right now. I see you got something going on, token up a little bit. I think that's kind of funny on Keeping It Rio.
Yeah.
What are we smoking right here?
I'm actually smoking a mix of our CBD strain Sweet Wife with a little bit of my own personal THC bud. It definitely helps keep me calm in the morning so I'm not, super high level, moving quick and then forget to do stuff. It levels me out. It's got a nice terpene profile to where, it puts my morning in the right mood. And that, along with good old caffeine, I mean, it does the trick. Cheers, sir.
I heard that. This is my 3rd cup.
I'm on one.
I did already hit the gym though. Like I said, it's 4:00 here in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm here on Keeping It Real with my buddy. Got to have a little bit of caffeine in the system. But the truth is, I'm just pretty amped to be here. This is fun.
Nice. Yeah, man. So how's everything going with the roofing industry with you? I mean, we're talking about me and my stuff, but clearly you got a lot going on too.
Yeah, I mean, roofing has been kind of weird this year. I think everything's weird right now, the way that there's just uncertainty. And I definitely don't want to make this a political program or anything like that, but stuff's a little different. So what we've done is kind of we've pivoted off of roofing a little bit, and we actually rebranded the company a few weeks ago to Rio Blanco Roofing and Solar. And I'm focusing a lot of my attention right now here in San Antonio, especially in this office, to try and get the solar going. It's a huge opportunity to save San Antonio residents as well as, everywhere in Texas and shoot, anywhere. A lot of money. I'm seeing 6-figure savings for a lot of these people that we're working with. And to be honest, roofing right now is a little bit slow. But this solar stuff, you don't have to sell it. It sells itself. You put numbers in front of someone and say, look, right now your bill's $350, and who knows what that's going to be 20 years from now with inflation. But if we can get it to $159 a month starting right now with nothing down, and that includes everything, why wouldn't you do it? You know, if you could go back 20 years and pay the same price for anything, I don't care what it is,
You're
you
saving
do
money.
it, right?
Oh yeah.
So now's the opportunity, I say, for people to look back 20 years from now and say, man, I made a great decision. I went with Rio Blanco. They hooked my solar up. I got to take advantage of that. I got my tax credits, and I'm doing something good for the earth, you know? So you're with the earth. I mean, look at you over there. There's nobody more earthy than you right now at the moment. And that's what we're doing, is kind of transitioning a little bit into the solar realm. I'm not going to lie. My goal is to save San Antonio $20 million in energy expenses for the remainder of my career. I don't know how long that's going to take me. It might take 100 years. I hope not. But my goal is to save San Antonio $20 million on their energy bills. So let's make that happen. San Antonio, Texas. Well, I got you on the show here, D. You ever thought about doing solar for your outfit over there, man? You probably got some pretty high energy bills, right?
Yes, we actually did explore using solar, but I don't know how it works in Texas. But when you guys put a solar setup in, do you still have to hook that to the house's main line?
No, you can set it all completely off to its own. You can do battery backups if you want to in the event that some crazy thing happens. Like here in Texas last year, we had snowmageddon for like a day and a half, and dude, it was the craziest shit ever. Like the lights were going out for 2 consecutive days. Like Texas was not set up for what
Yeah.
happened. And it was very alarming because it was like, bro, it got cold for 2 days and like the whole thing almost shut down. And as I continued to read, it was like, you know, Texas was pretty damn close to exploding our grid. And that was 2 cold days. Like the wind turbines out here all froze up, and nobody had any like WD-40 or anything. I mean,
Yeah.
it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And when you realize Texas being as big as it was that close to just being like totally dark, man, time to hook some solar panels up, because I don't want to be like that. That's a little too close to the edge for me.
I agree.
And I think it's something that we're going to do that's going to help a lot of people. And that's why we do this. Rio Blanco was born out of love. It's a project that I have that I take very seriously. Um, we've had a little bit of ups and downs as we've gone, which is that's life. You've had ups and downs with your company, and you learn things as you go. I mean, I had some stuff that was personal that happened that kind of came into the mix as well. You overcome that shit and you just continue to go and build and develop. And my mindset is, like I said, 20 million for San Antonio. And I want to be one of the top solar reps in the United States. And I want to put Rio Blanco on the map as a premium brand that everybody knows and thinks of. So that's what we're doing. I'm doing Keepin at Rio too. This is going to be like episode 83 or 84, maybe even 85. So that's been pretty freaking sick too. I got some sponsors going on. I got my hot sauce back here.
Yeah, I see it.
Maybe I'll have a Garden of Panacea sponsorship. I got a little spot down here in the corner, if you can see.
Yeah.
Got room for more sponsors for sure.
Keepin
It Rio has been awesome. I've been getting some amazing guests on here. People are reaching out from not just my industry, but I mean, I've had news reporters, I've had morticians, professional wrestlers, Elvis impersonators.
I remember that guy. Yeah.
You name it, bro. I've got it all. I got my buddy D with his cannabis farm and everything that he's doing. Let's get back into that, man. We kind of deviate off just a little bit, but so you guys are moving into the market. Obviously, it's a little slower than anticipated because of everybody else, not
us. We're
not having the priorities that you do. But your stuff is like ready. I mean, you've got everything set, ready to go. It's like slap labels on, and we're putting this into the market.
Yep.
What's that market look like? Where are you? Last time we talked, you were looking for boutiques and things like that. Is that still the game plan? You got any online presence? What's up with that?
Online presence not there yet, because just like with everything else, we have someone else building the website, not something I'm capable of doing. So it's not quite where we want it. It's up, it's functioning. You can go on there, you can buy product. Not all our products are listed on there, because most of the products we do sell are a day-to-day thing, like our produce and our goods that we can't it's very hard to put that kind of inventory on a website daily. So we just stay on social media. We let people know what we have day by day. They come by. We have daily pickups. Occasionally, depending on where the customer is, on someone's way home from working, you know, we could definitely deliver their product for them. So we've definitely kept in that niche market, trying to be in the local community. We've tried to do as many unique things to keep with our tag, not your average garden. And one of the things that, you know, we were just talking about that we did try and explore was solar, so that, you know, we could be a off the grid farm. Because I did get a well dug at the new location. So to add solar to that, to operate the well, was what we wanted to do, so that at any point in time, our grow could continue no matter what the state of our house was. And here, Duke Energy doesn't allow you to just hook up solar and have batteries. You have to hook that to their line, and they'll only let you put as many solar panels to cover your bill. They won't let you put even one more to where they have to kick money back to you if it pushes, you know, whatever back to the grid. So when they came and told me all that and told me the price to hook it into the house and all these things, I'm like, that really just eliminates the whole purpose of having solar.
Yeah, it destroys everything. And that's the whole point. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. It doesn't behoove them for you to have solar at the house when you could be paying premium rental prices, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, but good old Duke. Their mayonnaise is way better than their electric. I can tell you that much. That's one thing I can say about Dukes.
Oh, hold up. I
All
clicked.
right. What you got? I still see and hear
I'm
you.
not sure I understand.
Hey, you there?
Yo.
Oh, yeah. I tried to move my screen and Siri came on. She started
Oh,
talking.
nice. I guess sometimes that happens to me. I ask her questions. She tells me what's up and controls my life. But yeah, dude, I love it. And here's something we've never talked about on Keeping It Real. This is your third time. And I feel like it's just about due. It was probably due the last couple of times, is that you're not just doing this company by yourself. You've got your wife, Ashley, who I've known since before y'all were married, a couple years.
Yeah.
And she is just like one of the coolest people because she's completely invested in this whole thing. Right. And like, when I go down there and visit, like, you know, she's got the whole mindset of, you know, making it happen, an entrepreneurial spirit and all that. So why don't you tell our fans a little bit about, you know, Ashley and what she does behind the scenes? Cause she's not on the podcast. She could definitely be on the podcast anytime she wants.
Well, me and you are early birds. That's not so much Ashley's thing. That's why she's in bed right now, getting her beauty sleep. But once she's up and she's moving, you're right. She is highly motivated. She's the one who started all these exotic indoor plants. And I know it's hard to pick up this whole computer, but I'd love, you know, at some point for us to do like a mobile episode where, you know, we could tour the farm and you guys can check out the grow room and everything. And she's really just put her 100% into something that she had passion for before we even started the Garden of Panacea. She was buying house plants and filling up all the rooms in the house with these pretty green things. And, you know, I never really saw it as, you know, a money-making opportunity, but you'd be surprised at the amount of people that are looking for these plants, these rare ones, and the amount of money that they pay for them. And I mean, she really just found a niche. And on top of taking care of, I mean, there's at least, I'd say 200 plants in this garage right now. At least there's probably more. I'm just vaguely taking a look. And then on top of that, she's literally canning and pickling our produce that grows on the farm day in and day out. So from about 6:30, 7 a.m. when she gets up to about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night when we start to get ready for bed, she's balls to the wall. She's on social media. She's got us a great presence on social media because as a hemp farm, we don't get the luxury of being able to pay for advertising. Nobody wants to let us pay for advertising. They don't want to put our stuff out there. So we have to organically do it. Yeah, no, I know you, Chuck.
Hell yeah. I'm going to put it out there.
I'm just talking like for like a really, really, really large platform like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is, they refuse. I mean, Facebook even sends us emails to our company account saying, oh, here's $20 of free advertising to use. And then when we go to use it, it says we can't use it. It's kind of ridiculous.
Sorry, bro. Just kidding.
So Ashley definitely spends a lot of, you know, hard effort and time and, you know, building our social media presence, making sure she's posting at the right times, interacting with the people. She's always telling myself and our other two partners, Clayton, and my other partner, Dimitri, he's my cousin. She's always telling us, you have to post at these certain times. You have to make sure your posts look a certain way. You have to say certain things. And, we at first were just like, all right, yeah, you want things your way because that's how you want them. And we understand. But then once we start to seeing the effects of it and how well it worked, and, it's kind of like, all right, well, listen, we'll do whatever you want us to make sure that this keeps happening. Because it's definitely been a blessing to go to shows that we're a vendor at and have someone come up to the booth that we've never met before and be like, oh, I've seen you guys on social media, you guys are really doing awesome. That's what it's all about. I'm trying to reach the people that are looking for the things that we're doing, so that the people that I surround myself with, not just in my personal life but in my workplace during business hours, are people that I want to be around. Like, I'm sure in the roofing industry you've ran into people that you don't want to be around. You know what I mean? Like,
One or two. We're on the 10-year anniversary of me walking out of the job that we had together. There was probably at least one person there I didn't care for over
yeah,
the
I'm not
course
going to
of
say
time.
any names,
There
but
were several. I don't call anybody out by name, but there were several. So yeah, you're right.
so it's been really nice having Ashley be such a force on so many different avenues for us. She kills it when we have to can our produce. She kills it when she's selling these exotic indoor plants, and she kills it when she's on social media. So it makes it that much easier for us as a team to not worry about our advertising and how we're getting out there, because Ashley's got that on her side, and I know a lot of people in the industry that I'm using and on my side of it to network in the physical capacity, about the stores and other things like that. One thing that, me and Ashley have been wanting to do for about a year is an infused dinner. And I actually messaged you about this. Was it last night or the night before?
Yep.
In November, we're going to be doing our first hemp infused dinner in Charlotte. We got a location near North Davidson, and that's going to be a huge thing for us. That's something that we're really going to focus on, and having stuff like that to meet people and expand. That's what we're trying to do.
Yep. Dude, I love it. And I can't wait. Thank you for that invitation. I will be going to Charlotte in November, which I'm super pumped for. Every time I get to go to the Queen City's fun, except for about 10 years ago today. I didn't love it too much then, but that's going to be awesome. We again, I'm trying to go back to our previous episode here, which was in the spring. So much has evolved. Like none of this stuff existed that you've got going on right here when we last did this. And I think you were working with a skeleton team. It was you and a couple people. Is that still the case? Have
Yep.
you expanded at all? Brought anybody else in?
No, it's just myself, Ashley, my cousin Dimitri, who's also named as Dimitri, and our head grower Clayton. Dimitri and Clayton handle 80 to 90% of the things in the hemp field, as far as the daily sprays, the watering, the defoliation, keeping the field clean, mowing around the edges, weed whacking, all the physical stuff out there. And then I basically tend to the produce garden up near the house. So that's, my duty in the morning. I take care of the vegetables, the trellising, making sure they're watered, give them feed. And then after they get done in the field and I'm done with the produce, we kind of meet up, go over projects that need to be done around the field, what we're going to do the next day, just try and stay communicative, stay on top of things. Because, having a skeleton crew, you can't let anything build up, because if you overlook something for a few days, then it's not a 10-minute task anymore. Now it's a 2-3 hour task, and that starts to eat into your time of wanting to get things done before it gets hot out. We have to make sure we're done working by 2 o'clock, because from 2 to 5 here in Charlotte, that's the hottest time of the day. It's basically unbearable. Even when it's not really that hot out, our whole thing is covered in a black tarp. So from the bottom, you're getting heat. From the top, you're getting heat. It's just, we try and get out there. Me and you will probably wrap up around 6:30, something like that. And I'm going straight outside to the field and start working on my stuff. So that's definitely the skeleton crew. It's the only way to really be for sure that your stuff's getting done, because the skeleton that we have, we're all invested. We're all 25% owners. So yeah, there's no paycheck. I'm not coming in on a Friday and getting an envelope from somebody saying, hey, good work this week. It's just keep working good, or you're not ever going to get that paycheck.
Yeah. And I mean, it's that simple, right? What a basic concept that so many people have not quite yet figured out. Just, do the work and do what's right, and eventually everything's going to come together. And I mean, for you, we've been friends for over 12 years now, which is insane, right? It was like about 12 years ago, I guess in August, probably when you started with us back way back in the day. And I still have that picture of you with the forklift with the little
Live Stanley.
the flat Stanley. And
Dude, I'll
dude,
never
you look
forget.
exactly the same. It's crazy. You haven't aged one bit. And it's been fun maintaining that friendship over the years. I've come down and visited you guys there for a while. It was like an annual tradition, and then freaking COVID kind of screwed everything up. But I got a chance to come visit Charlotte last when the hell was that? Like, was it this year? You picked me up at the airport. We went to breakfast at some restaurant down the
Yeah,
road from the airport. I don't know if that was this
that was
year or
last
last
year.
year.
I think it
It
was
was
last
like in October, probably somewhere
year.
around that. I was flying into Florida, but I always love to go down there and hang out for a day or two. And I want to come see what you got going on there and do like a live Keeping It Rio on the scene with, with the whole deal. Cause I'm actually fascinated by this, and I have known you the whole time, and you haven't changed one bit as far as, being innovative and creative and just the dude who goes 150% on everything. So none of this surprises me. Um, you were developing all this new stuff last time. Everything's turned out pretty good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the new products and some of the uses for what they've been developed to take care of?
Okay. Well, the one thing that we definitely jumped into here in the last like 8 weeks is a Delta 8 line, which is the legal version of THC. It's not just Delta. All right. So trying to make it in a simple form to, give it to the masses. THC, what everyone knows that gets you high, is known in our industry as Delta 9. That's the terminology for it. And it's just one cannabinoid in the plant. So all the other forms of THC, the Delta 8, Delta 10, THCO, THCP, there's quite a few of them. Those are technically legal because they're not psychoactive in the way that Delta 9 THC is. So we decided, because it's a huge thing right now in the industry, everyone's using these cannabinoids that are very similar to THC to give people that high that they're looking for, essentially, but they're doing it legally, and it's really kind of a gray area. So we stayed away from it for a while because we knew that in July this year they were going to be ending the farm bill, which would make all those products now illegal if that were to happen. So we waited and waited and waited. And I did my research during that time, and we kind of started playing with ideas of what our products would be and what the line would look like if and when things got to a point that we decided we were going to go through with it. So we spent months kind of dabbling and playing with it and talking to a couple people that I know. And then finally an opportunity arose that really, sparked my interest. I met a gentleman who's a CEO of some vape companies. And, he showed his interest in having a Delta 8 line and expanding the vape stores that he has to more of a CBD Delta 8 smoke shop rather than a vape shop, or at least a combined thing. So that sparked my interest even more because this was someone that I knew through a personal relationship that kind of gave me an in. So that really pushed me even further to, like, once this bill, the farm bill, got continued, I jumped right in and we started designing the line, and that's the process that we're in right now. So we're going to be having vape pens for our new line, which is going to be basically a whole separate company called the Cauldron of Panacea instead of the Garden of Panacea. And it's going to have it's going to be more of a recreational line. So the garden products will be more health oriented, cleaner products, not using any chemicals or bad things in our products, so to speak. Not that we're going to use those in the recreational line, but in the recreational line, in order to have a vape pen, you have to have something that's not
Rat poison or something. I know.
well, no, not there,
There's
but
something unhealthy about vape pens. I don't know what it is, but the fact you got to plug it into the wall is a little sketchy to me.
yeah. So we're looking to have another avenue to distribute our medicine to a market that doesn't see it as medicine. They see it as, oh, I want to get high. Cool. Getting high isn't the goal for people all the time smoking weed. It's sometimes they need to level themselves out. Like I said, like if I was smoking weed to get high right now, I wouldn't be able to function. I wouldn't be able to do my daily tasks or run a company or do any of the things that I do on a daily basis. Like I'm not a 14-year-old kid who's just trying to get high. I'm trying to put my mind and my body in a zone that's going to allow me to do those things. So we decided that we're going to step into that gray area and release a recreational line. So that's what we're in the process of doing. I said we'll have vape pens. We're going to do edibles. So we'll have gummies, Rice Krispie treats, cookies, just all little things that are more appealing to the market of, hey, I want something to take the edge off.
Yeah, I like that. And again, your products are going to be first class. I guarantee that. I may have had a Rice Krispie treat on your kitchen table one time when I was visiting, and what a great Rice Krispie treat that was. So
They're always good.
kudos for that. Getting it out there into the market. Let's just be very clear. Every single product you have is 100% above board. There's nothing stupid going on, because there's always going to be those people. I think we talked about it last time, that are going to say, oh, whatever, dude, and criticize. Every single thing you've got is 100% above board. Tell us about the strict and stringent requirements that are going into what you're doing. Cause I don't think, even I don't understand the extent of what your farm is. I've never seen it in person. I know what your property is, and I know how vast it is. And I'm guessing you've got the majority of that covered with this. So, I mean, this
Not yet,
isn't some small little thing. This isn't some dude that's got a plant or two in a closet that he's growing, with aluminum foil around it. So to get into this market, what have you had to do? What has your investment in time been? What kind of requirements do you have to meet in order to do it? Because you can't just open up a hemp farm over, hey, I feel like doing this, so I'm going to do it in my backyard and build it up and start selling stuff.
I mean, technically you could. You just got to apply for a license, and it's a pretty straightforward process. It's really easy. As long as your record's clean for 10 years, no felonies, they give you a license, and then you just build it up in your backyard, like you said. I mean, yeah, it sounds easier than it is, and if you just do it in your backyard, it's probably not that difficult. But we decided, that my backyard is, almost 4 acres. We took about an acre and a half of it and have turned it into produce and hemp. So it really is that simple. All the other things are definitely difficult, like you were saying. How everything needs to be above board, and it's really just about taking care of the plants in a way so that when you get your testing done, the THC levels are low enough that you pass. With the farm bill that's in place, you're allowed to have 0.3% THC in any product, including your smokable flower, and 0.3% is next to nothing. It's basically non-existent. And last year, all of our testing was below 0.27. This year, we've only had one set of testing, and we have two more coming up this week. And the first one was at 0.21. So, we don't have an issue with keeping it legal, so to speak. But we are also, I don't want to say against, but the tea free. So the products that don't have any THC in them, we're not about that. We'll never have a product that is THC free, because any plant you grow is almost guaranteed to have at least a tiny little bit in it. And in order to take that out, it's going to go through the processes that we don't really want our products to go through. We want to keep it as natural and full as possible. So even with the vape lines, a lot of people, they're just taking Delta 8, mixing it with some flavoring, and putting it in a pen. I didn't want to do that, because that's what everybody else is doing. I wanted to take several different cannabinoids, not just the Delta 8, THCO, and HHC, all these other ones. I'm including CBD and CBG and CBN, other non-psychoactive cannabinoids, into our blends to make sure that, yeah, they're recreational, but you're still going to get health benefits from them. There will be a medicinal aspect to our recreational line, and all the testing will still be legit. There's a way to do it properly. It's just the people that come out with it, super quick, they're not taking all the necessary steps to make sure that there isn't a hot product, as we call it in the industry. Because that's the last thing you want, is to put a product out there that's higher in milligrams than what you're telling the person. And then that could cost them their job if they're getting drug tested and they're thinking, hey, this thing has, next to no THC in it, so it's not going to pop on a drug test. And then I sell them something that's a hot product, and now they're out of a job and there's nothing they can do about it. So you have to be very careful to make sure that when you create a product, you get it formulated properly, you have all the numbers correct, and then when it's finished and you have your finished product, before you sell even one thing, you get it tested. And then you take those test results and you post them on your website. You have them so that anybody can see them, so that they know what they're ingesting.
All right. So there's a lot to this, way more than I thought. Let's talk about this testing process. Okay. Obviously, this is some kind of regulation from what, the state, the federal level?
Last
Both?
year it was the state, and all years up until this year has been each individual state has their own laws and rules about hemp and cannabis and all that. This year is the first year that the USDA took over. So the federal government and a federal agency, the USDA, are in complete control of every legal hemp grow in the nation. So not only do you have the federal government breathing down your neck to make sure you're doing things the right way, but then you have the USDA people who, are stopping in and checking in on us. Then you also have the local branches of the USDA, which they call the farm service agencies. And this is all new to them. It's all new to the USDA. So it's been even more difficult to really have to deal with it, because they don't really know anything about the plant. So they put all these rules and regulations in for growing, but that's for produce. Like, it doesn't apply to this plant. It's completely different. Like, one of the rules is, your crop report has to be put in by July 31st, and technically you're not allowed to plant anything after that. But if I'm a hemp farmer and I'm growing autoflowers, which you can harvest in, 70, 80, 90 days, sometimes it's only 3 months. What, for the next 6 months not 6, but the next 5 months from July 31st to the end of the year, I can't plant? Like, how does that work? Like, so there's just so many things that this year they're going to have to figure out before it gets smoother. They don't know. When we first called up in like March or April, when we were first planting our stuff, to just find out what the process would be for getting tested, the lady we spoke to didn't even know who was going to be doing the testing. She was that clueless. She was like, oh, well, I'm just pretty sure it's not going to be us. And I was like, well, that's not really a good enough answer for me. So it is federally controlled now. We have a federal USDA hemp growing license. And I think that's just one more step moving towards when everything goes legal for cannabis, not just hemp, but marijuana as well, that they'll have full control to make it more of a pharmaceutical thing, rather than like how Cali has it right now to be recreational, or in New York or Oklahoma, all these places. Those places are going to make their money now, but with the federal government sticking their finger in it, just like better than anyone, it's anything that the government decides they're going to touch is going to end up being less pure. It's going to be a shittier industry, in my opinion. I'm still going to want to be a part of it because I believe in it, but I do think a lot of things are going to change because of how difficult they're going to make it. It's got its good things and its bad things. It's definitely going to help eliminate the black market, the illegal grows, the things that give marijuana growers a bad name because of the people that are doing it up below board, not above board, like me and everyone else are. It's going to make it really hard for them to continue because, they have a license, so it looks like they're doing it legally, but they're just not moving it on legal avenues in legal states. So all those are going to start to go away because the USDA is asking us to report square footage of everything we grow. So if we grow one strain of hemp and we have, 5,000 square feet of it, they know that we're growing 5,000 square feet, which turns into X amount of plants. And then they can guesstimate what we yield from that field. And then they know how much the products cost and all these things, so that they can start keeping track of the monetary aspect of it. And then I can assure you within the next 2, maybe 3 years, they're going to start requiring that growers report their yield. how much you actually weighed at the end of your grow, and they're going to make you tell them what you used it for. Oh, we put this much into oil, this much into pre-rolls, this much into edibles, and all these different things to keep track of the markets. And then once they realize where the money is and which markets are good and which products are good, that's when they swoop in and they make it, pharmaceutical grade everything, take control of everything, buy it all up, and you now have big pharma, but it's big farm.
Yep. You've got quite foresight on that, my friend. And I have a feeling that what you just said is probably how this is going to all play out. But it's incredible to me when you say, just like all that goes into this. Cause I think, still people are going to look and be like, yeah, okay, dude, you're growing some pot, whatever.
Oh, we
but
have
it's
doing that, trust me.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, so you've random visitors and stuff like that. I have to assume, because there's got to be a little bit of a aspect to it where people
We've
are
had
not
DEA
probably
here.
doing everything right, but do they show up unannounced, or do you get, how does that work?
I don't know if you were, I know you follow us on social media, but a few months back, 3, maybe 4 months, when the plants were, just starting to grow outside, one of our neighbors has called the sheriff so many times that the DEA actually came out and spoke to us. Everything was good. They gave us the whole spiel on why they had to come out and how they don't even believe that, this should be on the radar because it's so close to being legal that it was a waste of their time. They really supported everything we were doing. And that neighbor actually has called the cops on us so many times for such stupid things that she's actually no longer allowed to call the cops on us. They went to her house and said if she calls on us again, she'll be charged with misuse of emergency services. So that kind of freed us up there. Like, we don't have to worry about them because, like I said, we've had the DEA out here, the sheriffs have came out here, the local police have came out here, and the town of Indian Trail. They're out here all the time because now that neighbor can't call the cops on us, she just files bogus complaints to the town that we're not following code and makes code enforcement come out to our house weekly.
So you've got a code enforcement guy, hey, what's up, Steve? Here's a donut
Rod,
and some coffee. Happy
Rod the Cloud,
Tuesday. Here we go, bro.
Yeah. Every once in a while when he comes early in the morning, and everyone has bad days. And if I'm having a bad day, he can tell because I'm already frustrated with something else that's going on. And then I know Rodney's coming over here to tell me that my neighbor's complaining that my generator's too loud. And it's like, yeah, I need a generator to run my well, and noise ordinance says I can do whatever I want from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I wait till 8:05 to turn it on respectfully, and that's it. But
I think it's reasonable.
Yeah, I actually have just this past Friday, I had a buddy who got into a little bit of a wreck with his boat on his trailer, and he didn't have anywhere to store it while it was getting fixed, and he didn't really have any money to get it towed or wherever to back to his house, and he was closer to my house. So I told him, hey man, come drop it next to my camper. It can sit there till whenever things get taken care of
on your property.
As the tow trucks were bringing it to my house, you've been to my house, I'm right there on the corner, right?
Yep, right there by Omega Coney Island, baby.
So the tow truck's trying to back in to my driveway with this 30-foot boat on the back, so that's a difficult task. And the same neighbor tries to pass him when the street's completely blocked off and starts laying on her horn, screaming at him, calling him a dumb son of a bitch, all these things just because she couldn't get by in the 2 seconds she wanted to get by. And she actually ended up driving on my other neighbor's front lawn, get around the tow truck driver, and sped off.
Big mistake, because I'm sure your neighbor probably doesn't like this lady either. And it's like, nope. guess who's fixing the ruts on Saturday morning?
Yeah, so that all happened. And then lo and behold, Monday comes and town of Indian Trail is at my house because of the boat. She complained that the boat's there and it's not on a trailer. And town ordinance says that, yeah, the boat has to be on a trailer. But if she didn't say anything, no one would have complained because it's basically not visible.
And dude, it's not like you live right off, in a highly visible location. You're back, and so here's to douchey neighbors, man. I'll tell you what. Here's my neighbor in one of the places where I have neighbors. I'll just leave it at that. I'll be very But I live in College Station, right? And I'm in a neighborhood that's it's a nice neighborhood. I'm not gonna lie. I got extremely fortunate that I know people and I work deals, and I live in a house over there it's pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. Like but the problem with that is that most of the neighbors are all like at least 80 years old or higher, right?
Yeah.
On my street, I'm by far the youngest, and I'm the youngest by like at least 35 years,
Oh,
like I'm a
you're
whippersnapper
old.
to these. Yeah.
You're old.
Fuck off with that. I don't even know what you're talking about. I ain't old. You're getting old, by the way. You had a birthday not that long ago, and I think you actually surpassed me in age now. So we're good.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
You recycle, right?
I,
You just recycle your age every year.
I've been 25 for a minute now. It's great. The second 25 is much more fun than the first. I'm just kind of counting backwards now. So I'm 6. What's up? But so I'm over there in College Station, right? And I live in a neighborhood. There's a golf course. So everybody's a little more,
Relax.
no, not relaxed. That ain't the word. They're far more uptight, I think, is the definition that we'd be looking for. And my next door neighbor is a guy that everybody told me, okay, the guy that I rent my house from is a friend. Our office, he owns that building, and I've done like probably $1 million worth of roofs for this one guy in College Station over the last decade, right? Like,
Yeah.
things are cool. And he gives me the house, and it's beautiful. It's way more than I need, but I'll take it, right? Like, why not? You remember when I was in Charlotte, I had a 4-bedroom house. It was me and Lily at the time, and she was like this big. So I've got that going on, and my neighbor, I guess, is like the guy on the block that everybody has earmarked as like the town dickhead, right? Like the guy who just gets in your business. And
Yeah.
I come to find out, okay, here's what happened. I'll cut to the chase. We had hail come through the area. We're doing roofs on my block, and everything's cool, right? And I'm talking to my neighbor, and I'm like, hey, man, my roofing company, and I'm doing it for Ann. I'm doing it for Karen. I'm doing it for Margie. Like, I'd like to help you out, sir. And I didn't want to work with my neighbor, right? Because I think over the course of time, you realize you wouldn't want to work with your neighbor right now, right? So nothing good comes of it. The only positive thing can be a complete neutral. You don't piss your neighbor off, and that's a win. I don't like those odds because shit happens, So I didn't want to personally work with my neighbor, but I had one of my sales guys go over, and my neighbor, he ended up choosing a different contractor to do his roof, which I'm totally fine with. His gutters are jacked up right now. I'm just saying. And his ridge caps are on kind of crooked, but he chose someone else, right? And that's fine, no worries. But he comes over and he's got this attitude about it. And he's like, well, I just went with them out of loyalty. Like, these people don't give a shit about you, sir. And quite frankly, I don't. But out of loyalty, they don't need, Mike from Pebble Creek from like 20 years ago is getting his roof done again. Everybody, let's all celebrate, right? Well, this leads to a little bit of a situation, and me, I'm one of those people where, I mean,
you make snide comments? No,
I don't make snide comments. I tell the truth, okay? And all I said was, hey, no problem. He said he went with another roofer out of loyalty, and I'm like, well, that's cool, loyalty, like, your next door neighbor. But I said, hey, no problem. If something happens, if you ever need anything, make sure to come knock on my door, and I'll be sure to give such and such at blah, blah, blah roofing a call and hope they can get over here in time to help you. Like, I'm talking to an elderly gentleman. So, I'm, bad things or what's going on. And this put us on bad terms. Okay. So I don't talk to these guys anymore. I see him. I don't wave at him. I don't acknowledge him. I go running by when I'm jogging, whatever. And I keep getting these reports back, though. Like, this dude's checking up on me. He's doing research. He thinks I'm running a roofing company out of the house, which is completely the furthest thing from the truth. Everything, right? So one day, and this is what gets me pissed off because this happened to me. Okay. One day, the guy that owns the house, okay, and I've got a 3-car garage. I've got like a 4-car wide driveway, privacy fences on both sides. You can't even see my shit, right?
Okay.
You can't even see it unless you're really working hard.
Sorry, it's about to get real bright in here.
Yeah, no worries. It's bright all the time. So my neighbor, oh yeah, look at that. That's cute. My neighbor decides, okay, the guy that owns the building says, hey, look, I've got a trailer. It's a 16-foot trailer. I'm going to park it on the driveway for about 2 hours. I understand how people are over there, and I understand. So I'm not going to leave it there because I don't want any problems, right? We're all prepared for this. Dude, this guy has not even backed the trailer in completely. And here comes the HOA lady saying, someone on the street just complained. And I see the dude looking through the blinds, like checking us out, and it's like, bro, come on. So your neighbor is probably worse than mine because I just ignore mine now, but I get it.
No, my
Neighbors suck.
listen, she's so bad that she literally has her 4-year-old kid standing out the street, giving us the finger and saying "fuck you" and calling my wife a cunt. Like, this kid's 4 years old.
Oh, dude. Hey,
Like,
I had that happen not too long ago with a roofing client too. I'm not gonna lie. I had about a 14 or 15-year-old tell me, he called me an MFer, and I was like, oh, dude, like,
how'd you know what I did to your mom?
well, no, please don't. We don't want any kind of rumors like that. I know this mom. Trust me, that ain't happening. But and it's like, wow, great parenting. Your 4-year-old literally knows words that they shouldn't even probably learn till they're at least like 7 or 8. I
Well,
mean,
listen, it's okay to know it at that age, like, because I'm not gonna lie,
spewing
I have
it.
very bad vocabulary, but my
We've been
kids
saying
know
that.
you
Yeah.
don't repeat it.
No, not where people can hear you, but yeah, I'm with you on that, dude. So that's here's to good neighbors, here's to problems. I love
But
what's going on back here. So give us a little rundown of what you've got. Now we can definitely see things a little clearer. That looks like a bonsai plant or something down there. Is that what's going on, or
what, the little brown ones that are like all curved?
yeah, what is that?
Those are actually the brown things are like supports for the plant to grow up, and we just like tie it up. I'll grab one, bring it
So
over.
it's not even an actual plant. I look like a complete dumbass. The name is Dumas. Okay, I see what's up.
All right, so
Oh,
there's
dude, I like that. That's is that a plant that could survive in Texas, or is that kind of just like a North Carolina regional type deal?
no, these are all indoor plants. They can't be outside. So these have to be like in, I think, let me grab this.
We're gonna get a little lesson here, ladies and gentlemen, at 5 a.m. on a Tuesday.
So this is what they like: 70 degrees and above 50% humidity. So if you can keep your house, within 4 or 5 degrees of that, upwards of 40 to 50% humidity, any plant will really thrive, or at least any exotic indoor plant. Some of them are kind of hard to take care of, but most of them are just pretty, as my wife says. But they also clean the air, and I guess they're decorations.
They do way more good stuff than we even realize, probably. They fight crime. They, do everything that you need them to do. That's why I love plants. And I'm just super impressed with this. I can't wait to get down to Charlotte and see what's going on in person because, dude, it's amazing. And, like I say, I know people, and you're one of the people I know that has like never done anything halfway. So I know that when I get there, I'm going to be like, holy cow, this is like even more than I thought it was going to be. And that goes with everything. I mean, I remember what's that?
I will blow your mind.
I promise. I can see that coming from a mile away. So let me ask you this, D. My fans on Keeping It Real, believe it or not, I've got a couple. If they want to get a hold of Garden of Panacea products, if one of my friends in, I don't know, Boulder, Colorado, Salt Lake City, Nashville, Tennessee, want to get something from your company, how would they go about doing it? And again, all of this stuff can be shipped across state lines and all that. There's no concerns of any sort of anything going on.
100.
So if my guys want to help you out and support your business, which I hope they do,
yeah,
how they go about doing it?
For our tinctures, you can get on gardenofpanacea.com and purchase it through our website. Anything outside of our tincture line right now would have to be purchased through, social media. So contact us on Facebook, Instagram, and place your order. We can take Cash App, Venmo, check, Zelle, PayPal, and then we'll ship it out. We ship out the exotic indoor plants, canned goods, smokable flower, tinctures, candles, soaps. Yeah. Social media, man. That's definitely the way right now. It's
Tell me
it's
about
really
it, dude. Tell me about it. I spend like a good portion of my day plotting and planning. And like I said, there's a definite strategy to it. And I've got a lot of help. You can see up in the corner, I've got K Socialized Media there as my associate sponsor for Keeping It Rio. And if not for that, I would not know what the hell I was doing. And quite frankly, they make it fun. We wouldn't have Keeping It Rio if it weren't for social media. And I love that. So we're coming up on the hour. You and I could chat for freaking days, and we have in the past, but I know you got to get out into the field. You got to get some stuff done before it starts to get too hot.
Yes, sir.
Final words from you, Dimitri Vouvoudakis, entrepreneur, best buddy from Indian Trail with the bitch neighbor. What can you leave us with for this episode? Dimitri 3.0 is what I've got it titled right now. What can you leave our viewers with that would leave them wanting some more for Dimitri 4.0 down the road?
I think the one thing that fits in full is just wake up every day and do something that's going to make you happy. That's the most important thing. If what you're doing every day doesn't make you happy, you shouldn't be doing it. Bottom line. So no matter what's going on in your life, you got a bitch neighbor or a shitty customer that went with a different fucking company, you know, as long as in that day you've done something, whether it's for yourself or for someone you care about or for a complete stranger that put a smile on your face and put some good out in the world, well, fuck it. That's a win in my book. So just do that and everything else will just follow.
I agree. Everything falls into place as long as you've got a pure heart and you do things with proper intentions. And Lord knows that if you don't, bad things happen. And
karma's a bitch.
It is. It is. I've learned my lesson. I'm going to stop doing things out of spite. That's a promise I've made to myself. And dude, thank you for being on Keeping It Rio at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's 6 over there, but you got up at 5 a.m. It was worth me getting up. I was already, like I said, I already went to the gym. So this was just a regular morning. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day over there. I can't wait to come see you guys very soon and continued success with the garden, with the cauldron, with everything else that's going on in life. And just a freaking overall good dude right here. Dimitri Vouvoudakis. Thank you, my friend, for being on Keeping It Rio.
Thanks for having me, Chuck. I'll talk to you soon. All right, bud?
All right, my